I thought this might be interesting when purchasing a vehicle. Something you need to look for. One thing you're going to notice if you're purchasing a vehicle, and this even includes going to a dealership, because I've worked on people's vehicles that bought cars from the dealership, and they basically removed the bulb, the actual bulb. If you look right there, there's a little light behind there. There's a bulb, whether it's a LED or whatever. All these vehicles, they have lights behind it. Just because it doesn't have a check engine light doesn't mean it doesn't actually have a code in the computer. What they do is they remove the bulb behind it. What you do is you don't turn the key on, you don't turn the car on, key on, engine off, like where the radio is going to run. And you're going to notice right there, you got the light. Now behind that light right there, there's a code. I mean, there's a behind that check engine light right there, there's an actual bulb. And if I remove it, the bulb won't be there. You got all the different lights right now. As soon as you start the vehicle, it goes away because there's no check engine light on this vehicle. Well, what they do before selling you the vehicle is they remove that bulb. So simply what you do is you want to make sure you see that light without the vehicle on. So you just turn the key off, turn it on, make sure you look for that check engine light. You got the check engine light. Doesn't mean the check engine light's going to be on when you're running the vehicle. I'll show you on the other vehicles how it looks. You see the check engine light comes on. The vehicle's not running right now. It's just key on, engine off. But the bulb's there lit. It's telling you that there's communication. It's telling you that the actual bulb itself behind that little sign right there is illuminated. Now let me show you another vehicle. Here's another vehicle. You see the service engine light comes on. Once you start it, it goes away. So I'll show you another one. Now look on this one. Key off. Key on, engine off. Where's the bulb for the check engine light? Where is it? Key on, engine off. Everything turns off. Where was the bulb? You're supposed to see the bulb. If there was a check engine light, the check engine light would be on if there was a code. But that's just not good enough. In order to see whether they remove the bulb or not, just turn the key on to key on, engine off. There is no bulb. Nowhere. There is no check engine light bulb. That tells you right there, if the car starts, that means the computer's communicating with the vehicle. That means there's supposed to be a bulb when you turn the key on, engine off. If you don't have the bulb on, it's one of two things. It's either the bulb itself is missing, which means there's probably a problem. That's why they removed the bulb, because there's just a little bulb behind there. If I wanted to turn that off, I could go behind there and I could take the bulb out. If I wanted to turn that off, I could go behind there, I could turn that bulb out. It'll never come on, because if there's no bulb behind that, then it's never going to show on. Same with that little blinking light. If I wanted to remove that little light right there, I just go behind there, I remove that bulb, it'll never come on. It'll never tell me that I don't have my seatbelt on. It's what they do to sell vehicles. I've seen dealerships do this. You guys need to watch out. When you go to purchase a vehicle, turn the key on. Look for the check engine light. It's supposed to be there. Do not start the vehicle, just turn the check engine light on. If there's no light, then the vehicle shouldn't start, because that would mean there would be no communication, whether it's a blown fuse or a problem with the computer. There's no communication with the computer or blown fuse to the computer. That would be one reason that there is not going to be the check engine light when you turn the key on with the engine not running. The only other reason that light's going to be off when you have the key on, engine off, is because they removed that bulb, which means they're trying to hide something from you. They'll disconnect the battery, clear the codes, and you're thinking you're getting a car that doesn't have any check engine light. You'll never see a check engine light. But when you check the codes, when you hook up a scanner, the code comes up. It's basically putting a bandage over a gaping wound is what they're trying to do. They're trying to cover up something that, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to pass smog, because whether there's a light or not, people, it's so hard for them to understand that there's no light. So if there's no light, why can't I pass smog? There's no light because there's no light bulb. If there's no light bulb behind the light, then it's impossible for it to light. Doesn't mean there's not a problem. You know, I could pull the spark plug out of one of these, one of the cylinders. You're going to have a dead misfire, and I could come back here and I could remove the bulb. That doesn't mean it's going to fix the dead misfire. It's just going to mean there's not going to be a check engine light. You know, it's funny because people have the hardest time understanding. I said they removed your bulb, and we're talking about from dealerships. And they're saying, well, there's no check engine light. I'm trying to explain to them. There is no bulb behind it to illuminate the check engine light. And it's like I got to spend 10 minutes explaining how a light is behind the thing to illuminate it, but that doesn't mean there isn't a problem with the vehicle. It's funny how people are, how it's hard to explain to them that they just remove the bulb. That's what they do. Be careful when you're purchasing a vehicle that you do turn the key on, you look for the check engine light. It's supposed to be there. Any vehicle, 96 and newer, probably even older than that, it's supposed to have something that comes up. Anyways, this is even something that I forgot to do, and they pulled it on me, and they removed the bulb. But, you know, I'm a mechanic, and I fix my own stuff, but, you know, some of you guys out there, you know, you're going to get dicked, and you're going to have to, let's say it's a catalytic converter code or something, you got to buy a new catalytic converter. It's $400 or $500. That $400 or $500 you could have got off of the price of the vehicle. You know what I mean? But, anyways, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe.